Ever since Sai had Amado say that at least part of his memories had been altered to make him believe that Boruto is Kawaki, many Boruto manga and anime fans have started to wonder if Sai would eventually discover the truth about Boruto. This idea came up because Amado's statements were directly supported by the physical evidence that he provided. The physical evidence shows that Kawaki is the one with the Kama seal. This is the same Kama seal that Amado created, which contains his daughter's data and is meant to be used for her revival. On top of that, Kawaki also has scientific ninja technology that could only have been made by Amado himself. These facts clearly contradict the altered memories that suggest Boruto is Kawaki. The information that Amado revealed caught Sai's attention so strongly that he even spoke to Shikamaru about it and asked him what he thought. This shows that Sai was already thinking deeply about the situation. It has been revealed in the Boruto manga that trying to fully understand how Omnipotence works and what it has done is mostly useless. This is because people will eventually forget no matter how many times they are told what Omnipotence did or how it works. This means that even if Sai were told that Boruto is the true son of Naruto and Hinata and was shown proof, he would soon forget what he was told about Omnipotence. He will also slowly stop caring about the evidence that was given to him. However, there are loopholes in the Omnipotence ability. If someone becomes curious enough and carries out their own investigation, and if they find real reasons to believe that Boruto is not an enemy based on their personal interactions with him, they can eventually realize that their memories have been altered to make them see Boruto as an enemy. Even then, Omnipotence will still make them forget the evidence that proves Boruto is Naruto's true son. However, they will still remember the choice they made to trust Boruto and to believe that he's the true Uzumaki, even though they no longer remember the reason or the proof behind that belief. This is what happened with Sasuke, Shikamaru, Amado, Mitsuki, and now Konohamaru. Omnipotence does not erase the new memories that Boruto creates with people. Instead, it only alters their old memories and removes the evidence they discover about what Omnipotence has done. So if Boruto behaves in a way that goes against the enemy image people have of him, and if those people become curious enough about Boruto's actions, Kawaki's actions, and their own memories of both of them, they can eventually discover the truth. They may decide to trust Boruto, but Omnipotence will still make them forget the proof. Even so, they will keep the memory of trusting him. It has never been revealed in the Boruto manga that the same thing has happened to Sai. There has been no confirmation that Sai has come to trust Boruto in the same way as Sasuke, Shikamaru, Amado, Mitsuki, and Konohamaru. The only thing that has been confirmed is that Sai is suspicious of Shikamaru's actions. This became especially clear after Shikamaru told Amado believes Boruto is the true Uzumaki and that Kawaki is the one with the Kama seal that contains Amado's daughter's data, which is meant to be used for revival through the Kama seal, just like how the Otsutsuki revived themselves. This information may have led Sai to wonder if Shikamaru is secretly working with Boruto. So, what caused Sai's suspicions? Sai began to feel suspicious because of the information Shikamaru had about the mission in the Land of Wind. Kashinkoji told Shikamaru to send Konohamaru, Sarada, and Mitsuki to the Land of Wind. He knew that either Ryu or Matsuri, or possibly both of them together, will appear there. Kashinkoji wanted Shikamaru to have this team join forces with the two Sen Shinobi, Araya and Yodo. Their goal was to defeat Ryu and Matsuri and take their Thorn-Soul bulbs. This was necessary to free Shinki and Muegi from their divine trees. To help Shikamaru plan properly for the future and the fate that Kashinkoji wanted, Kashinkoji gave him important information about the weaknesses of both Ryu and Matsuri. This information could be used against them in battle. With Boruto and Kawaki appearing on the battlefield and helping them, the mission was successful. The only casualty was Yodo, who was the only one to die during the battle. The amount of information Shikamaru had about this mission caused Sai to start asking questions. Sai became curious about how Shikamaru knew so much. Based on what Sai knew, Boruto was the one who had a lot of knowledge about the divine trees. Sai didn't know that Kashinkoji was still alive. He believed that Kashinkoji had died during the mission to defeat Ishiki at Gaara's hideout. Because of this, the only conclusion Sai could come to was that Shikamaru might be secretly working with Boruto. This suspicion became even stronger since Sai was the one who told Shikamaru that Amado believes his memories were altered to make people think Boruto is Kawaki and Kawaki is Boruto. During the questioning between Shikamaru, the Konoha elders, and Lord Kubo, Sai started to suspect that Shikamaru might be working with Boruto. His suspicions grew even stronger during Konohamaru's interrogation by Lord Kubo. Lord Kubo wanted to question everyone who had direct contact with Boruto, one by one, including Shikamaru. His goal was to find out who might be secretly working with Boruto. Before and during the interrogation, Konohamaru was already convinced that Boruto did not want to harm Konoha. This belief came from his own experiences and observations of Boruto on the battlefield. Any concerns Konohamaru raised in Boruto's defense were based only on what he had seen personally. However, something happened during the interrogation that made Sai wonder if Shikamaru might be secretly communicating with Konohamaru using a private mind transmission jutsu. This is how the interrogation unfolded. Konohamaru angrily told Lord Kubo that he didn't know how Boruto had managed to escape from the interrogation room. When he said, "I told you already," it showed how frustrated and annoyed he was at having to explain this again, especially because he genuinely did not know how Boruto had escaped. Konohamaru then told Lord Kubo that at the time of the original interrogation, he hated Boruto. However, after watching Boruto fight on the battlefield, he began to feel conflicted about the idea that Boruto was a traitor. This showed that Konohamaru had decided to trust Boruto, despite the effects of omnipotence, because of his new experiences with him. Sai noticed this change in Konohamaru's feelings towards Boruto. This stood out to Sai because Amado had already told him that there might be truth to Boruto being Naruto's real son. Even though Konoha wanted Boruto captured and killed, Konohamaru was completely honest about how he felt. Because he was so open, it was clear that Konohamaru was not secretly working with Boruto. If he were, he would have tried to hide his change in feelings instead of openly admitting them. Lord Kubo, who was affected by omnipotence and saw Boruto as an enemy, thought that Konohamaru was being naive. He believed Konohamaru was foolish and not clever enough to be a spy. This led Lord Kubo to conclude that someone else must have helped Boruto escape. For Sai, this raised an important question. If Konohamaru had begun to trust Boruto, then maybe Shikamaru had already decided to trust Boruto as well. While Konohamaru was still in the interrogation room, Shikamaru connected to him through Inogen's mind transmission jutsu to communicate by exchanging thoughts. Shikamaru told Konohamaru to stay calm and listen carefully. He explained that there was no time to go into full detail, so you speak directly. Shikamaru then told Konohamaru that he was the one who had allowed Boruto to escape. Konohamaru could not fully control his body language or small facial movements. When he heard Shikamaru confess the truth through the mind transmission jutsu, his non-verbal reactions gave him away to Sai, making it clear that he was talking to someone. Shikamaru also told Konohamaru that he was the one who had given Mitsuki the code to unlock Boruto's chakra sealing calves, and that he was still working with Boruto of his own free will. At this point, Konohamaru's body language and facial expressions changed. Earlier, he had been angry and annoyed, while telling Lord Kubo that he did not know how Boruto escaped and that he had doubts about Boruto being an enemy. Now his posture and expression became calm, focused and curious. Sai noticed and carefully watched these changes in Konohamaru's non-verbal communication. Konohamaru then asked Shikamaru why he had decided to work with Boruto. Shikamaru indirectly explained that based on Konohamaru's own experience with Boruto on the battlefield during the Land of Wind mission, where Boruto saved everyone, Konohamaru could understand why Shikamaru trusted him. Konohamaru then remembered how Boruto genuinely cared about his safety, the safety of Sarada, Mitsuki, and the Sen Shinobi during that mission. He also remembered how Boruto was desperate to save everyone, even sacrificing himself to distract Jura so that others could escape safely. Because of this, Konohamaru had formed new memories and experiences with Boruto. This made him question Boruto's image as an enemy and led him to trust Boruto. Because of this, Shikamaru told Konohamaru that it might be only a matter of time before others realized that he was the one who helped Boruto escape from the interrogation room after his arrest. Shikamaru then asked Konohamaru if he would help him by making Lord Kubo less certain that Shikamaru was a spy who helped Boruto and was secretly working with him. While Konohamaru was thinking about this request, Sai continued to closely observe his body language. This confirmed to Sai that Konohamaru was definitely talking to someone through a mind transmission jutsu. After Konohamaru's questioning ended, Sai wanted to confirm this suspicion. He contacted the sensory unit using their mind transmission jutsu and asked them to give him the communication history between Konohamaru and any third parties during the last several minutes of the interrogation. The sensory unit told Sai that the last time Konohamaru had communicated with a third party was the day before the interrogation. There was no record of any communication during the last few minutes in the interrogation room. This confirmed to Sai that Konohamaru was using a separate, private, and secret mind transmission jutsu to talk to someone. Things became even more suspicious when Konohamaru returned to the interrogation room a few minutes later. He said that he had forgotten to mention something. He told Lord Kubo that it seemed the release code for Boruto's sealing cuffs had never actually been set, and that this was his mistake. This meant that Boruto's cuffs had never truly been locked and could have been opened by the force of Mitsuki's attack even without the release code. Both Lord Kubo and Sai knew that Konohamaru was lying and doing this to protect someone. This made Sai even more suspicious. Earlier, Konohamaru had clearly said that he did not know how Boruto escaped, and that his feelings about Boruto had changed, and that he believed Boruto was not an enemy and did not want to harm Konoha. Suddenly, after secretly communicating with someone, Konohamaru returned with a lie to cover up the truth. This was when Sai became certain that Shikamaru was working together with Konohamaru, and possibly Boruto as well, through someone's mind transmission jutsu in Konoha. Sai's next goal was to find out who was helping them communicate using this secret mind transmission jutsu. Sai managed to uncover the truth when Lord Kubo summoned Shikamaru to the interrogation room. This happened because Lord Kubo was interfering with Shikamaru's role as the battle strategist for the mission to protect Ada from Mamashu. Because of this problem, Kashinkuji wanted Inojin to use his mind transfer jutsu to take control of Lord Kubo's mind. The goal was to stop Lord Kubo from questioning Shikamaru so that Shikamaru could return to leading the mission as the battle strategist. When Inojin took control of Lord Kubo's mind, Lord Kubo temporarily passed out. When he woke up, Inojin was now controlling his body and mind. However, Inojin was inexperienced at missions like this, where he had to pretend to be someone else. Because of this, he could not copy Lord Kubo's usual calm attitude, steady body language, and controlled expressions. This immediately made him seem suspicious. What made things even worse was that Lord Kubo suddenly called Sai dead. This shocked both Shikamaru and Sai. They both wondered why Lord Kubo would refer to Sai as his father. This clearly showed that Inojin was using his mind transfer jutsu. Because of this, Sai realized that Inojin had been the one helping Shikamaru and Konohamaru all along by using his mind transmission jutsu. Sai then waited for Lord Kubo to leave the interrogation room and confronted Shikamaru. Sai asked Shikamaru to explain what he was making Inojin do. Sai said that he had been shocked by what happened to Lord Kubo, but once he saw Lord Kubo's eyes, he knew it was Inojin's mind transfer jutsu that had taken control of Lord Kubo's mind and body. Sai then demanded that Shikamaru explain everything that was going on. This means that either Sai will piece together all the information and realize that Shikamaru has been secretly working with Boruto and the allies using Inojin's mind transmission jutsu, and that Shikamaru trusts Boruto and believes he's the true Uzumaki, or Shikamaru will simply tell Sai the full truth. Either way, Sai will eventually learn everything. It will also be revealed whether Sai himself will come to trust Boruto in the same way that Sasuke, Shikamaru, Mitsuki, and Konohamaru already do.